This is the talk show that takes a no-holds-barred approach to politics, where truth and integrity are the standard and the Constitution honored. From Renaissance Studios, this is Champion News Talk Radio.
Good morning and welcome to another great edition of Champion News Talk Radio. We are brought to you by championnews.net, where you can get all of your latest news. Be sure to sign up at championnews.net, and we're your choice for the conservative voice. This is Carol Parisi. Today, our founder, Jack Roser, and myself have a very special guest with us, Claire Van Horn. And Claire won our Grassroots Champion Award back November 3rd. To see Glenn Beck and Dennis Miller, and as the DuPage County Tea Party, organizer leader. So good morning, Jack. How's that for a mouthful?
Well, I'm really impressed with the start here. You're a Tea Party leader.
Yes.
And what area of the state of Illinois?
Well, we call ourselves a DuPage Tea Party, and we're primarily in the south end of DuPage County, so we encompass as many areas as we have people who will take action in DuPage County. Primarily, we are on the south end, though, and a lot of our people do come from the south end of the county.
Some of them around Joliet, perhaps?
No, actually, we're closer to Route 83 and 55. Is where we meet, and people come from all over, though. We've had people from as far west as Wheaton. We've had people from Elmhurst. We've had people from all around that have joined us. And
this is the most wonderful thing. I think so, because I'm an old guy.
You're the oldest Tea Party dude around, Jack.
Yeah.
Tea Party before it was
there wasn't
cool.
any name to describe this weird character, and I think it's wonderful that. The reaction to the deterioration of attitudes in America, and the reaction as a Tea Party. I think it's wonderful. It's a throwback to the values of our founders. It's a great thing. Values are very necessary. You know, you can be a libertarian, and to some extent I am and was. I used to and buy into the thing with Ayn Rand. I belong to the Objectivist Society and Nathaniel Branden Institute, and I can remember, I never met her personally, but I can remember Ayn Rand. I gave copies of her books away. But libertarianism is not a political party, it's just a market idea. Because unfortunately, for a lot of reasons, she was an atheist. And so she didn't get into the other values that have come down and are known as religious values and morals. But think of what's happened, for instance, in our schools. There's these characters that have gone in a number of different schools over the years, and shot a lot of teachers and children in there. Why does this happen? The answer seems to come up that it's because of guns. Guns causes. People kick guns. Stupid. When people pick up a gun, I think they'd go to somebody from the streets and sand department and shoot them because they weren't picking up the garbage. Or let's go over to City Hall and knock off those jerks. How come that the people that want to do mass killings go into school with little children? It's because they were dissed when they were in the school. Notice that there aren't any of these killings going on in Catholic schools, nor Lutheran, nor Jewish, nor private, nor home schools. None of these are the subject of it. So there's something about the way these kids were treated by the children, the other kids. You know, it's easy to have bullies in a school or people that intimidate you and cut you out of the cool groups. That goes on, and that can cause resentment in some of these people that are socially or mentally or physically not cool. And I think that's really gives a probable reason why these shootings happen in a school. They go to the place where they were dissed, where they feel like they were unfairly treated. And I think that's just entirely due to the elimination of morality and
the lack of personal responsibility. There is no personal responsibility taught in the schools, in the homes, amongst our government. Personal responsibility has gone by the wayside. It's the blame game. No matter what level of government you listen to, no matter what level of anybody talking in your local community or neighborhood, personal responsibility is gone. So therefore, you have everything in the world happening in the most egregious ways, killing our children in our schools.
Wow.
I mean, there's so many things going on within the confines of the fact that people will go into a school, whatever their excuses is their reason. The basic idea is we're not protecting our children, and we're not protecting them in lots of ways. Number one, the personal responsibility issue. Number two, how much money do we spend on protecting Congress, for instance? They all have guards. How many various groups, including this newspaper recently, who decided that they wanted to publish everybody's names of all the holders. Guess what? They now want to have armed guards protecting them, but it's not okay for our children in our schools. Why would that be? That's insanity right there.
Well, we definitely have a culture crisis. We are, like you said, the first thing, personal responsibility has been we don't teach personal responsibility. Blame the next guy. Oh, maybe it's because the kid's ADD or because of this or because of that. You know what?
This relates directly to the Tea Party. The Tea Party is a response of sensible people that do have morals and can remember what it is to have a decent education, some religious responsibility. It's a wonderful thing. Our country was so lucky that at a time in history when people got sick of the man on the hill, the baron, the king, whoever it is, all of Europe, where you were caught with a knuckle to your forehead to signify that you were nothing but a peon, and the guy on the hill ran you. They got sick of that all over Europe, and there are a lot of people that came here, not only Washington and Jefferson and so forth, but intellectuals like Paine, and that whole philosophy that grew up around them that resulted in the generation that went through its own civil war and set up the United States of America. And it's a wonderful place, and everybody has voted with their feet from every country in the world. They've come here because they had a chance to be Americans, to keep what they wanted, to have personal freedom, and not be dictated by the man on the hill. And I don't like being dictated on the man on the hill in Washington either.
But we are becoming an oppressive, tyrannical government.
Yes, we are.
And the hypocrisy
and deliberately fomented. Obama is a thoroughgoing socialist. When you look at the things that he's advocated for this whole thing, he wants to, for instance, institute this business of government insurance. That's what's called single payer.
Right.
People should realize we've got a real example of the failure of a big single payer organization. And what is it? It's the school system. That's a single payer deal where the government provides a service. You pay your taxes, and they tell you what you're going to get. And what you've done is got a school system that doesn't compete on an international scale and has even removed morality from the schools. You can't have the philosophies of the Tea Party taught in which are good American principles taught in American schools.
That's all it is, just good old-fashioned American principles that have been denigrated and downgraded and destroyed by the
Constitution's so old.
Take a look at what we've been through. I mean, over the last couple decades, they have blurred the line between right and wrong.
You don't call anything wrong anymore.
Everything has become gray.
Yeah.
Take a look at kids going into daycare. There never used to be daycare in the 60s. Moms stayed home and they took care of their kids. Now, there's records that and studies that have proven kids that go into daycare, this is when they're infants, have a much greater rate of aggressiveness, bullying, and violence later in life.
And why wouldn't they? If they're raised by an institution rather than the loving care of their own parents, then why would they have any care about their own parents when they're older and need care? Why would they care about society in general? They're raised by, people who have maybe their hearts in the right place. And I have worked with people who their hearts were absolutely in the right place as teachers of these little children who were in daycare from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. What did they go home to? They went home to sleep. They went
exhausted, burned out parents.
That was it.
And sometimes that's single parent.
Right.
And that's a very hard road to hoe.
However, the single parent has an excuse. Because there's sometimes that's the only thing you can do.
Right.
But I worked in an area where there were so many people who had tons of money, didn't need to work.
It's the baby boomers' fault because we have to have it all. I mean, that was part of what we were taught as a generation. We're going to talk more about our culture crisis when we come back after the break. Stay with us.